Hey folks, Deano here again. This time taking a look at a new Figuarts Dragonball bootleg. Yeah, for whatever reason this one released just before Christmas. Managed to get them in hand. No thanks to my local delivery courier. Yeah, for whatever reason this past week, like, I'm assuming it's because of the run up to Christmas. People are now buying last minute and the couriers are getting a bit overwhelmed. But yeah, I got this guy delivered at 10 PM UK time, which is rather late. Which is also why, if I sound a little bit tired, that's because I am. It's getting quite late now, so usually I wouldn't do reviews this late at night, but needed to get this out for you guys as soon as possible. But yeah, this is of course the Figuarts Mecha Frieza, which came out only a few months ago, the official one. And to be honest, this bootleg, like, cutting a long story short, it's pretty damn good. Like, there's a couple of issues here and there, but yeah. I think this is the same company that done the legendary Super Saiyan Goku, to be honest, because it's a contender for one of the best bootlegs of the year. I know there haven't been many of the cheap bootlegs this year, but the ones that have come out have actually been decent quality. That's not to say it's not without its issues. Like, I did have an issue with one of the PCs, but we'll get there when we get to the accessories section, which will be next, because in typical bootleg fashion, AliExpress seller, despite showing the box on the listing, didn't even ship it in the clamshell. This was shipped to me in a baggie, in a grey bag, and that was it, with some bubble wrap. I'm lucky it didn't disintegrate in the post. But yeah, as usual, link will be in the description if you want to purchase this guy. And to be honest, yeah, I probably would. But yeah, let's get into the rest of the review. Starting off with his accessories. So, in terms of accessories, he comes with everything the original came with, which would be the standard sort of smirk face, which I do really like. One thing I'm noticing straight off the bat is either the original Mecha Frieza had a much deeper, like, groove on his cheek, or it was panel lined, because yeah, that's sort of getting lost in the details. And if you take a look at the standard final form Frieza, you'll notice the cheeks are panel lined, which, yeah, that's probably the proper way to do it. Not entirely sure why that got missed. Well, pretty obvious why it got missed. It's a bootleg. Can't expect them to be perfect, but yeah, just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, the details are pretty good on the faces, to be honest. The purple on the mouth could have used a little bit more work. It's kind of just been splotched there, but it's not really something you're going to notice. Plus the eye decals seem pretty good. In terms of other faces, we have the sort of maniacal grin face, where he's kind of angry but kind of amused at the same time. Again, quite nicely done. Purple's a little bit sloppy, but I think that's just going to be a running trend with this. Again, the eye decals are nice. I like how metallic the silver is. It's pretty close to the official, to be honest. I think they did a good job. We have the teeth gritted angry face. This is actually quite well done, this one. Everything is applied cleanly. Obviously these parts are missing on the alternate heads. You have to swap them out. Don't ask me why Tamashii did that when they came out with this guy. It literally wouldn't have cost them any more money to include the pieces. But there you go. Um, they did it. The bootlegs follow suit. And then we have the sort of... I mean, this is probably the worst face out of a lot of them, let's be honest. That mouth is messed up beyond belief. But yeah, this is pretty much the shocked, terrified / angry face. Yeah, even the purple in his ear is sloppily applied on this one. But yeah, this is essentially the exact same face as when he's getting cut in half. So yeah, apart from that, decent. Yeah, again, the silver's a bit sloppy in this one. This face was definitely one they done at last minute. In terms of alternate hands, he comes with a pair of fists. Each pair has one mechanical, one flesh tone, which obviously you would need to. It's Mecha Frieza. I am pleased to report the hands actually do come off rather easy, so there's not much risk of them breaking. I know usually with bootlegs, the brittler plastic is especially noticeable on the wrists, so I don't tend to pop them off on camera, but happy to report it is quite good. So yeah, you get a pair of fists, you get a pair of Ki Blast hands splayed open, which is quite nice. You get a pair of grippy style hands. Again, nicely done. I do like that. I'm thinking of changing this section of the reviews, by the way. Let me know what you guys think. Instead of showing them one by one, just having them on the desk, I'll maybe get a little acrylic sort of riser and just pop all the accessories on, and then just point the camera to it. Let me know what you guys think, whether that is a good way to go, because obviously me holding these in my palm is always a bit awkward. You don't really see them too well. But yeah, last pair of hands you get is his death beam or pointing hand, or death ball hand, whatever. You can use it for a variety of things. But yeah, looks nice. And I am pleased to report they all pop on and off just fine. They're not too tight. Last piece is obviously the statue of him getting sliced in two by Trunks. Obviously you still need the hands and the arms and the legs. I'm honestly considering buying a second of this bootleg, just so that I can finally have a version of this guy posed up. Because, as you can see down the bottom, it snapped. Obviously, clear plastic, combined with the fact that it's not going to be as good plastic, being a bootleg. Yeah, the slightest bit of pressure and that snapped in two. Which is unfortunate, considering the fact it snapped at an awkward angle. So basically, to remedy that, I am not using the actual peg hole that it's supposed to go into. I drilled another peg hole the same width and put it further up, just so that he is actually facing the camera instead of facing down. I don't know why they didn't do that to begin with, to be quite honest with you. You put it at a different angle, it's going to look better. Like, I don't know why Tamashii did that. But yeah, the details are really nice. Really nicely done. Everything is clean, even on the wee statue piece, which I really do like. There's a little bit of smudge on the back for the purple, where they've been painting him. But yeah, let's quickly see if we can... Oh, that popped off fairly easily. That's a good start. That popped off easy as well. What about the legs? Was the Mecha Frieza 3.0? I think he was. But, yeah, for whatever reason, this guy's a 1.0. Not sure why the bootleggers felt the need to cheap out on that. But yeah, that is making it a lot more difficult to get the leg off that. Oh, there we go. Ooh. So it's still just a peg which is good. Let's see if I can be ginger enough to get that off. There we go. That worked rather well. Right, so let's just pop these on to this body. Will they actually pop on? Do I have them the right way round? That would probably help. There we go. That popped on rather easily. That's a good sign. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking I'm getting another bootleg, just so that I can have this posed next to a Trunks. Because if Demon Ico Fit releases their Trunks, obviously I have to review it. I'm going to end up with a million Trunkses. I might as well have them posed doing stuff. So, tail pops off, really easy as well. It will pop in. I just need to get at an angle. I'm being very ginger because I don't want to break this stand again. It's funny, I am more concerned about the stand than I am about the figure, which is unusual for bootlegs, to say the least. Yeah, I can't get that tail in there easily. It's just popping out, unfortunately, but oh, there we go. That went in. Finally. Yeah, so let's get that the right way round. And yeah, the little statue works perfectly fine. You could definitely have Trunks chopping him apart quite easily, I would imagine. So yeah, even if you're just getting the bootleg for this, you can do it. It's easy. Surprisingly so. I was expecting the tolerances to be a lot worse than that, but hey oh. Let's get the parts back off this guy and take a look at the figure now. Okay, so taking a look at the figure itself. Like I said before, I am really impressed. Like, the only real details it's missing is the line on his face. I'll probably grab just a panel liner and fill that in, just to get some depth. But yeah, this obviously being a bootleg, like, there are issues. This, for example, but I think that was more to do with the fact that the seller was a clown. And yeah, obviously the arm's been bent either in shipping or when it was being built, one of the two. We will never find out. But yeah, apart from that, like, the actual figure itself is pretty decent for the price. There are a few paint mishaps here and there. There's a sort of splotch on his leg and on his bicep right there. I think, were these not painted in like Panaline black as well, thinking about it? The brown. I think they were. Apologies. But yeah, all in all, I really like it. The black is applied cleanly as well on his waist and on his shoulder and on his dome. Even the purple is decent. I mean, this is quite plain, but then the official one was as well. And this middle gem sort of section is nice and glossy, which it should be. But yeah, all in all, details are really nice. I really do like it. The forearms and stuff still rotate, at least on one side. This side doesn't appear to. I'm not sure why. But there you go. But yeah, not a whole lot else to say about it. The details on it are quite good for the price. But yeah, in terms of articulation, he can, having a little bit of trouble with the neck, that's the only thing. You can look up, but that much. He can look down reasonably well. He can pivot and such, despite the fact that it is just a ball hinge that's up there. It still gets quite a decent amount of range. Yeah, for some reason the neck isn't fitting into the chest cavity too well. I may have to trim down the sides to get that in there. Or just leave it. I mean, it looks fine as is. Arms. We've still got this sort of strange cap, which I suppose is a small price to pay, considering the fact that they didn't do it with full power Frieza, and full power Frieza has a bit of trouble getting his arms up. Yeah, you can get the arms out that far. They can swivel nicely. Butterfly joint, if the arm pops off. It's nice that it pops off easy, but it's still going to be a little bit of trouble. A butterfly joint, you can get that far. This side is a lot tighter than the metal side, but still decent enough. Bicep swivel. Double joint at the elbow. Doesn't get great range, but I think that's more to do with the fact that this arm's warped for me. Yeah, you can see the joints in an awkward sort of spot. Yeah, bit of a shame. Oh, this bit does move. That is separate. Okay. Really doesn't look it. I think it's just heavily applied paint. Ball hinge at the wrist. The chest can go back that far on its own, and that does expose a little bit of a cavity. You can kind of hide it with the sort of centered gem piece. Adding in the waist articulation, you can go back that far. You can go forward that far really well. I think that's actually better articulation than the official. We have swivel and pivot. The waist is doing all of that. We basically just get a hinge at the chest. The feet, despite the fact that they're 1.0s, they still get the job done. You can do the splits to about there, which isn't terrible. We have thigh rotation. The kick up is actually really good because of that actual drop down. Actually helps it a bit. So he gets really good kick. Double joint at the knee. And a big ball hinge at the foot, which is very nice. Can do a nice ankle pivot. And we don't have any toe articulation because obviously he has 3 of them. And I just realised they've done it with Mecha Frieza as well. He's got 2 smaller toes and a big toe. They definitely didn't do that with the original Final Form Freeza, did they? Watch me, I'm about to eat my words. Like, I am looking at it off camera before I bring it in, and I am starting to doubt myself. So, yeah, lovely. And obviously, tail has a sort of hinge and swivel at 2 points, which is kind of useless because the tail is in a certain sort of design. So you get it out of that design and it's going to look a bit odd. But mostly just use the tail for standing purposes anyway. Works nicely enough. But yeah, overall, that is a decent little bootleg. Considering the fact that the real one goes for, like, I think it's already up in the 80s in terms of prices. I would say this is definitely something, even if you're going to get it for, like, as I said before, the chopped in half accessory. Because no one wants to use the official one to do that, do they? Yeah, we move this guy to the side. Bring in Final Form Freeza. And you will notice the final thing, which is his scale. Also, the main issue with this Mecha Frieza that I had, I think I said it at the start of the video, was that he was a bit too big and his head was too bulbous. Yeah, they appear to have solved that with the bootleg. They've actually scaled him down. So the head is much more in line with Freeza, which is a positive in my book. Definitely is. But yeah, you can see the height is almost identical now. The head is a little bit bigger, but not anywhere near as much as the official ones. So I'm really pleased with that. And yeah, it's not quite as noticeable, but he does indeed have two smaller toes and a big toe. So I guess that's me told. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Is this guy worth picking up? I'm definitely considering just buying a second, just so that I can have the chopped in half section as well. But yeah, link in the description if you wish to purchase this guy. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And until next time, folks, I'll see y'all later.